Look at this. I found a security camera. Isn't this cool? I'm having way too much fun with shoes. Hold on. I have some music set up for this. Hold on. Let me have some noise set up for this. Hi. Good evening. Good afternoon. It's that time. Oh, I love doing this. Wait for some people to file in, because I know a lot of people like to listen to the SCP readings. Oh, I'm a little bit sleepy, but it's time for the goodies. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. I have no real set in stone idea of what all we're reading tonight. I just know that we're definitely reading something. Since it's the international branch, I figured it'd be a good idea to just go and start working my way through random pages. I'm reading spooky bedtime stories, yes. And I'm still sleepy, so this is good for everybody. But look, we got a few today. We're doing the international wiki, so it should be different than usual. So it'll be a little bit different than usual. Because usually when it comes to it, the wiki, at least the like US wiki, tends to have a lot more a little bit better. The SCP wiki for like the US or the English branch, I feel it gets tiring after a while. I get kind of bored with it. So I always feel like getting something new is good. So I have my setup ready. Look, I got in. So we're ready to go. I'm all jazzed, all good. If you guys are ready to go, I am ready to go. Let me get this started here. Let me get it up and ready. Our first entry should be pretty straightforward. Our first entry is coming to us from the Japanese SCP Foundation. So the SCP branch of Japan is where we're coming from. And let's get ourselves started. Let's see here. SCP-1995-JP. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Site-84 has been established on the above ground of SCP-1995-JP for containment and investigation. Exploration of SCP-1995-JP's interior is to be performed by an unmanned drone in principle. Any exploration attempt by Foundation personnel requires the approval of 2 security clearance level 4 personnel. Said exploration personnel are obligated to wear level A hazmat suits and hold communication devices which introduced ARAD position location program. While SCP-1995-JP requires no nutrition, it is to be monitored via security cameras installed in the structure. Its regular physical examination and the removal of SCP-1995-JP-2 are to be carried out by drones. Once removed, SCP-1995-JP-2 is to be disposed of per hazardous protocol. It is speculated that any direct or indirect notifying about the defeat of Japan causes a significant mental shock to SCP-1995-JP, increasing the risk of containment breach. Thus, all interactions with SCP-1995-JP-1 must follow a conversation pattern instructions given by KSM-08. In case of In case an instruction is ignored, the speech communication function of the communication device will be temporarily deactivated. Should SCP-1995-JP-1 approach the entrance of SCP-1995-JP, Mobile Task Force Cowhands is to carry out the emergency protocol 1995-JP, which consists of 1,000 Zen or Mikyo Buddhist monks, as well as agents trained in counter-occult stratagems and the use of incendiary armaments. If a vacancy of monk occurs by factors such as death during protocol, a substitute must fill the position immediately. The emergency protocol is to be continued until SCP-1995-JP-1 is temporarily neutralized, at which point it shifts to the resealing protocol 1995-JP immediately. See document 1995-JP-1A for specific procedures about emergency protocol and the resealing protocol. The search for uncontaminated SCP-1995-JP-2 and recovery of information related to Project Susanoo are important matters. Any personnel who want access to the progressing of relevant informations are to file a request to Central Intelligence Superintendent Bureau. Description: SCP-1995-JP is a specialized underground shelter located in blank Tokyo Metropolitan Prefecture. It consists of a 200-meter hallway and 9 rooms, 4 at each side of the hallway and 1 at the far end. When a living human enters SCP-1995-JP, disables the subject's time perception and gives a Class 1 I-1U autokinetic ability. Any dead humans, non-humans, or human animal... Don't you hit me in the middle... I thought I turned that off. Hold on. I thought I turned this off. Did I not turn hit me off? I did not turn hit me off. Haha, joke's on you. I don't have that on right now. You can't hurt me. Only God and the Foundation can. Any dead humans, non-human animals, and inanimate objects remain unaffected. Based on the reports of exploration personnel who were recovered by drones, it is believed that the ability is only capable of expanding the internal space of SCP-1995-JP to prevent the subject's escape from it. The subject inside SCP-1995-JP is able to communicate with external source. The two-way communication has proven to reduce the subject's ontokinetic ability enough to make them return to the outside. Due to the aforementioned granting of ontokinetic ability, the internal details of SCP-1995-JP differ between human perception and mechanical record. Visual recording shows no notable features on the hallway, except for SCP-1995-JP-2. 8 rooms at the side of the hallway are uniformly designed, approximately 42 meters. Arrangement of furniture and recovered documents indicate that these rooms were the laboratories for SCP-1995-JP-1 related projects. The last room has a space of approximately 70 meters, arranged with the shoji around 3 sides of said space. Behind the shoji is a Japanese-styled room, which has no noteworthy items, save for several toys for children. SCP-1995-JP-1 is typically present in this room. Following interview, which was conducted with Agent Blank Kihara, who returned from the second exploration, are considered as the prime example of SCP-1995-JP's perception of affected individuals. Interviewee: Agent Kihara. Interviewer: Dr. Shinagawa. Forward: Agent Kihara is one of the agents who participated in the second exploration. This exploration was performed on blank 1947 to acquire the visual recording of SCP-1995-JP's interior and SCP-1995-JP-1, as well as the interviewing log of SCP-1995-JP-1. Visual recorders and communication devices were distributed for this purpose. Visual recording was terminated in the middle as the recorders broke down during the exploration. Log begin. Dr. Shinagawa. First off, please see this video. This is what your camera recorded. Video is a fast-forwarded playback of the record taken by Agent Kirahara in SCP-1995-JP. The original record is about 200 minutes long. The recording continues until Agent Kirahara approaches the door to the Japanese-style room through the hallway, opens it, and sees SCP-1995-JP-1. No notable objects except for SCP-1995-JP-2 are captured in the record. The camera is repeatedly shaken in a violent manner, and other personnel appear to be attempting to brush something away. The video is terminated when it shows SCP-1995-JP-1 standing in the middle of the room. Agent Kirahara, I can't believe this. It's completely different to the things I saw. Dr. Shinagawa, yes, that's what the returnee says. So please talk about your own experience first and about what you saw. Agent Kirahara, understood. Well, those leaves. SCP-1995-2, correct? Those didn't exist in there when we observed it. Instead, there was a tremendous crowd of Oni. Oni? I'm sorry, but please describe the entities in more specific terms. What animal it resembles, how big or small, that would be enough. Agent Kirahara. Alright, I knew that just saying Oni won't work. The appearance resembled that of a small monkey. Monkey with horns and fangs, fully painted in black, about 3 to 10 centimeters in body length. I suppose there were countless of them in that hallway. I saw their mouths were moving, so they might have been speaking about something, but I couldn't hear. Dr. Shinagawa. Did the entities do anything noteworthy? Agent Kirahara. They found us and they swarmed around us. Everybody in the video were doing those strange behaviors, remember? Maybe they were trying to brush their critters off, like I did. It was meaningless, though. They clung to us one after another. That was all they did. So once you get used to them, they're more like annoying flies. Dr. Shinagawa. I see. What else happened in the hallway? Agent Kirahara. Only these critters. If you're asking about visually observable anomalies, but sometimes I heard some jovial music of flutes or drums, just like when festivals are held in shrines. It seemed to come from the room at the far end. No other anomalous phenomenon occur. Dr. Shinagawa. Okay then, the next question. Mr. Kirahara. What did you see when you encountered SCP-1995-JP in the room? Agent Kirahara. Okay. Well, it looked like a normal girl who's surrounded with toys. Ted wasn't like that either. Closing statement. Following the above interview, questioning about contact with SCP-1995-JP-1 was originally scheduled. Questioning was, however, suspended when Agent Kirahara began to vomit SCP-1995-JP-2. Agent Kirahara vomited approximately 36 kilograms of SCP-1995-JP-2 in total. Dr. Shinagawa and 2 security personnel in interrogation room were taken to the medical office. SCP-1995-JP-1 is a humanoid entity that is designated as Class 4 ontokineticist. Its appearance is that of a prepubescent female, approximately 120 centimeters in height and 20 kilograms in weight. Notably, the head of SCP-1995-JP-1 above the 7th cervical of the vertebra has been replaced with that of an adult male bovine. This actually reminds me of something. Now that I'm thinking about it. What was that urban legend? Hold on, it was like... There was like an urban legend. Gozu. Right? Hold on. Yeah, Gozu, cowhead. Japanese urban legend around a fictional story called Cowhead. Supposedly, Cowhead is a story so horrifying that the people who read or hear it are overcome with fear so great that they tremble violently for days on end until they die. The full story was broken up into fragments and read individually. They are not lethal, but still bring great pain and suffering onto those as they read their words. The Cowhead story was rumored to be an unpublished piece of sci-fi, piece from the sci-fi writer Sakio Komatsu. There's no evidence to link the author to the legend. A Ukrainian folk tale called Cow's Head exists about a woman who receives good fortune by offering shelter to a disembodied cowhead that visits her one night. A Gion Matsuri folktale comes from called Somin Shorai exists about a poor but charitable person who receives good fortune by saving a tourist, Gozu Teno, who was looking for a place to stay for the night on his own journey. So this is like coming back to that. That's pretty interesting. Hi, Kings! Welcome! Hope you're having a good night. It's good to see you. That looks weird with the RTX on. Hold on. Why do I move like that when I drink water? Oh, that's weird. Let's see. Hope you're having a good night tonight, Kings. While this replacement has not caused any problems to sustain the life of SCP-1995-JP-1, it shows slight slurring of speech. SCP-1995-JP-1 understands basic Japanese language and displays the intelligence nearly the same as that of a first grader of National School Primary Course. Since the initial containment, SCP-1995-JP-1 shows no signs of physical or mental development as well as life-sustaining activities such as nutrition, indigestion, or excretion. SCP-1995-JP-1's primary ontokinetic ability is the production of SCP-1995-JP-2. SCP-1995-JP-1 involuntarily causes the manifestation of SCP-1995-JP-2 inside SCP-1995-JP at a rate of approximately 360 kilograms per day. In addition, SCP-1995-JP-1 is able to voluntarily generate SCP-1995-JP-2 on anywhere it sees. It can use this ability to communicate over communication devices. The upper limit of SCP-1995-JP-2 that SCP-1995-JP-1 can voluntarily generate per manifestation is unknown. God, this really is just reminding me a lot of Gozu of Cowhead. An instance of SCP-1995-JP-2 is a leaf common reed. Each tip is bifurcated. A number of pathogens adhere to the surface of SCP-1995-JP-2 and spread infectious diseases to humans by airborne transmission. In addition, if a human came into skin contact with SCP-1995-JP-2, the subject develops some kind of disease inevitably. Diseases caused by SCP-1995-JP-2 tend to have more severe symptoms and progress more rapidly than its conventional counterpart. The following are examples of diseases SCP-1995-JP-2 may cause. See document SCP-1995-JP-2 for a full list. Smallpox, dysentery, measles, tuberculosis, influenza, typhoid, fever, malaria, and leprosy. So, okay. Judging by the way that this SCP specifically seems to have been set up, it's sounding a lot like this SCP might have been used as like an experiment. Maybe it was an original experiment in biological warfare. I mean, that would make sense to me, considering the lab setup in the enclosure that they've found. It would also explain the halted progress. SCP-1995-JP-1 is able to control symptoms of the contagious disease patient who it is seeing, within the range from full recovery to death. In SCP-1995-JP-1, relieves the patient's disease. SCP-1995-JP-2 manifests within about a 1 meter radius of SCP-1995-JP-1. There appears to be a positive correlation between the amount of SCP-1995-JP-2 that manifests and the degree of recovery. From the initial containment to the present, SCP-1995-JP-1 seems to believe that World War II is ongoing and that the Japanese Army has the advantage consistently. This perception is believed to be the reason why SCP-1995-JP-1 has not attempted to escape from SCP-1995-JP. Currently, the educational program to reform SCP-1995-JP's-1's thinking pattern has been proposed by a child psychology division. Interviewee, SCP-1995-JP-1. Interviewer, Dr. Ozma. Forward. The interview was conducted via audio communicator attached to an unmanned drone. Note that SCP-1995-JP-1's statements were inferred from its indistinct enunciation. Log begin. Dr. Ozma. Nice to meet you. I'm Dr. Ozma. May I have your name? SCP-1995-JP-1. I'm just gonna say SCP, just for brevity's sake. Dr. Ozma. Nice to meet you. Everyone at the lab calls me Nanako. We'll just call her Nanako then. Nanako-chan. I see, Nanako-chan. Do you know where the people at the lab went? Nanako. I don't know. I was told to stay in this room, and nobody was there by the time I noticed. Dr. Ozma. I see. Didn't you get bored waiting alone? Nanako. They told me that waiting is part of my work, so I'm okay. Also, everyone of Oji said that I'm able to go outside whenever I want. Would you tell me who the Ojis were? And what they said they were going outside to do? Ojis are my friends. They're 8 in all, and they ride on the leaves to come to me with a lot of little kin. They said that the leaves in their kin will increase in no time, and I can leave here when the leaves fill the hallway completely. Then, Nanako, why don't you go outside with the Ojis? It's not my duty. Your duty? The duty of annihilating them when they trespass on the land of the gods. It means that they will be taught by the military people who come here, and I was told so. Dr. Ozma, what? I'm still okay to not perform the duty, right? The Empire is still superior, right? Of course. Following the defeat of Japan in World War II, SCP-1995-JP was discovered on 8/45 during the investigation of research facilities of the Imperial Japanese Army Special Medical Force, aka Unit Negative Numbers, which are scattered around Japan. The facility SCP-1995-JP exists and had already been abandoned by the time of the investigation, and most documents had been incinerated. Unit Negative Number Strategic Instruction. Memorandum regarding the utilization of the Number 7 Protocols, Project Susanoo. Outline. The 7th child by Project Susanoo is to be housed in the underground of the Imperial capital. This institute is to worship and study the power of the child in case of foreign enemies' intrusion on the capital. The number 7 will enter the phase of exterminating the demonic ones to emit the power of Susanoo no Mikoto in order to ensure the safety of the country. Unit members must accompany number 7 in order to maintain and manage their power properly. Note, in case number 7 goes on a rampage, the Buddhist monks must... That is a long word that I cannot say. In order to temporarily neutralize number 7 via ritual imitating the recite of Gozu Ten no Shimo. That's exactly what I was talking about earlier when I brought up Gozu. This is that other story that was mentioned when I was looking it up to relate it back. Addendum. On 1995-01-18, a sudden epidemic of infectious disease was reported in Nishinomiya, Hyogyo Prefecture. In 2011, a similar epidemic occurred in the coastal regions of Miyagi Prefecture. Local agents conducted an investigation and recovered approximately 20 kilograms of SCP-1995-JP-2, respectively. Class C amnestics were administered to local civilians following the recovery of SCP-1995-JP-2 and the transfer of patients from the Foundation's medical division around the time of the epidemic. Sighting of humanoid entities resembling SCP-1995-JP-1 were reported on both areas. Investigations for further information are ongoing. That was interesting. Yeah, I really like these, like, I like going to the international wiki when I get the chance because I feel like I can, like, find more. And it feels like there's a greater variety of, like, articles to look at. What's this one? Ooh. Ooh, this is a plant. Wait, PT. Portugal. This one's from Portugal. This one's from the Portuguese branch. Alright. SCP-621-KO-1. Item number SCP-621-KO, Level 2 Restricted, Containment Class Neutralized. I don't know if anybody remembers when I did that SCP-101, we kind of talked about it a little bit. We talked about the fact that occasionally you'll run across SCPs that have been already neutralized. So here we have one that's been neutralized. Let's get into it. Let me glitch while I drink water. Alright. Let's see here. Special containment procedures. SCP-621-KO-1 is not to be touched by civilians. SCP-621-KO-1 moves from its original location. The moved instance of SCP-621-KO-1 must be found as soon as possible. After discovery, proceed with the same procedure as stated above. Should before the Foundation discover the instance, civilians who first come in contact with SCP-621-KO-1 and there is a potential or already occurring SCP-621-KO-2, then Mobile Task Force Lambda 92 Shutter Chance members are dispatched to capture and remove all instances of SCP-621-KO-2 that arise. And for the phenomenon caused by the instances, civilians who witness them are to be administered with Class A amnestics. Description: SCP-62K1, or 62KO rather, is divided into SCP-621-KO-1 and SCP-621-KO-2. SCP-621-KO-1 is a structure in the form of a straight lamp or sign that can appear around the world. Its appearance is the same as an ordinary sign or street lamp. There is a poster on the body saying, "Give me food and I will run an errand." SCP-621-KO-1's anomalous properties will occur several hours after replacing an edible organic matter on the object and writing the errand on a blank piece of paper. Affixed to the object, including requests that requires a substantial amount or can only be done by anomalous means. The organic matter and white paper are lost, and the person who made the certain request to the object to fulfill the request in some way. The more organic matter issued, the faster and more accurately a given request appears to be fulfilled. SCP-621-KO-1 moves periodically, and its purpose and reason is unknown. SCP-621-KO-2 refers to all anomalous insects related to SCP-621-KO-1, primarily composed of several species of moths. If a subject places edible organic material on SCP-621-KO-1 and writes errands on a piece of paper attached to SCP-621-KO-1, several hours later the instances return to SCP-621-KO-1. Instances of SCP-621-KO-2 only perform actions that appear to be part of a request made by the subject and disappear immediately upon completion of the task. While SCP-621-KO-2 individuals appear to be able to die from external factors during these errands, it is almost impossible to witness SCP-621-KO-2, which died as soon as it senses a threat. Other than that, no accurate facts are known about SCP-621-KO-2 yet. It's Keter class. I guess because it bumps around so much. I guess that would make sure why it was Keter class. Okay. records of experimentation using SCP-621-KO. Oh, this is KO. That would be Korean. This is the Korean. Yeah, this is from the Korean wiki, not the... I don't know why I was thinking PT. Why did I read that wrong? Records of experiments using SCP-621-KO to determine its exact properties. Testing on SCP-621-KO is no longer possible for reasons described below. Experiment log SCP-621-KO RS-1. Researcher Dr. Seonin. Purpose testing to determine SCP-621-KO's response to expensive errands. Products, food waste, 10K. Contents, give me 10 million Korean won. Results, after several hours, the paper and food waste attached to SCP-621-KO were successfully dissipated. SCP-621-KO-2 did not appear later. When a 100 won coin owned by Dr. Min Seon was completely destroyed or lost when the coin was used, it took an anomalous property of being regenerated through some kind of anomalous action. Okay. Its exact working principle is unknown. Currently, the coin is being completely neutralized after a total of 100,000 regenerations. Researcher Lee Seon Kyung. I'm not good with Korean pronunciation, so I apologize. Purpose. Experiments to find out the response of SCP-621-KO to wishes that are impossible. Products. Dead pig carcass. Contents. Please let me fly. Results. Several hours later, the paper attached to SCP-621-KO-1 and the body were successfully destroyed, and one instance of SCP-621-KO-2 appeared and disappeared after leaving a plane ticket at the researcher's home. Plane tickets are expected to not be available until September 2020. Where is he going? Hold on. No. It's got 2 years. My man's going on a vacation in 2 years. I hope they didn't take that away from him. I hope he gets to use this special SCP plane ticket. I want to know where it goes. I hope he has a good time. Okay. SCP-621-KORS-8. Agent Jung Ji-sung. Experiments to determine SCP-621-KO's reaction to errands that are unfavorable to them. Product, a piece of sweets. Contain SCP-621-KO, please. All subsequent occurrences of SCP-621-KO had signs stating no access. No! They put the stop sign out of business! They put the lamppost out of business! They gave him some candy and said, contain yourself! Oh my god! Can you? Oh my god. They literally gave him some candy and said, put yourself in timeout, please. And they did. That's fucking hilarious. Dude. SCP-529. What is SCP-529? Wait. Now I've gotta go read for SCP-529. Okay, let's read this. I don't know what SCP-529-KO is, but we'll read that after this, because it looks like this is interconnected. SCP-529-KO. Long time no see, Doctor. You haven't shown up since then, so why are you here? I'm here to catch Tinkerbell. SCP-529-KO begins to move rapidly and rapidly. SCP-529-KO arrives in front of SCP-621-KO-1. SCP-529-KO pulls out a disposable lighter? There's some lore here that I've got to learn. I don't know what's going on the Korean Wiki, but they've obviously got their shit together because this is wild off the bat. I feel bad for the lamppost, though. Wait a minute, SCP-529-KO. What you're about to do is set fire to one of the Foundation's research assets. Ah, still not working. Pests are creatures that have to be killed and boiled. Now no one can stop me. You only need to cooperate this time, just once. Oh, I feel dizzy, so just tell me the point. Just get to the point. You're currently investigating SCP-621-KO. It looks like you know quite a bit about the object, so I'm asking you to cooperate with the investigation without disposing of it for now. Okay, only this one time. SCP-529-KO suddenly begins to pull out a shovel, scrape the lower part of SCP-621-KO-1 with the shovel. What are you doing? Whoa, wait. A small hole appears in SCP-621-KO-1. Tens of thousands of bugs protrude through the small hole, presumed to be SCP-621-KO-2. Oh, of all things, I have allergies. SCP-529-KO finishes speaking. Billions of organisms believed to be some sort of gypsy moth begin to cover SCP-529-KO. The instance exhibits no anomalous properties. SCP-529-KO, can you hear me? Oh, of course. Wait a minute. I'll take care of everything. SCP-529-KO pulls out a small flashlight. He holds the flashlight in his hand and raises his arms high upwards. The swarm of moths begin to approach F529-KO faster and more frequently than ever before. Soon, SCP-529-KO becomes completely obscured by a swarm of gypsy moths. I need to request support for this. Suddenly, an explosion is heard. What is happening in the Korean SCP Wiki? What is this? I love this. Suddenly, an explosion is heard. Clear! SCP-529-KO starts burning a bug near it. It quickly spreading to the surrounding insects, and in an instant, all the moths are wiped out. Great, are you okay now? Only one is left, the rest are burned. SCP-529-KO? Oh, nothing. Just because the bugs here beg to be saved. You mean SCP-621-KO-2 is intelligent and can talk? Yeah? Then proceed with an interview with the entity that is begging you right now. But you won't understand even if I write it down. You have to translate. Okay. So what? Now ask. I'll translate. SCP-621-KO says, -2 says, I surrender! Dr. Clara says no one will kill you, SCP-621-KO-2. Maybe. What? So what is that? Did you just kill hundreds of millions of our co-workers? This is an organization. These moths have unionized. The moths have unionized. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. The man has nothing to do with us. Aw. Also, didn't we stop him from attacking you? I think so. That's right. Could you please attend the interview? If you do, we will return you without harm. I don't have a choice. First of all, please tell me about yourself. I am the jade long-tailed silkworm moth that lives on violets. The identification number among the same species of jade moth is 242042309448. Violet? Not that violet. You see this street lamp? There's a dimension in it. And it's called a violet. I don't know why. Can you tell me more about violets? Oh, of course. What are you gonna ask first? Tell me everything you know about violets. Everything. Violets are basically the same as here, Earth. Only difference is that there are no animals but us. When we first found the violets, no one was there. Literally. And what? We decided to live there. That's right, insects. Weird insects. All are intelligent. Some have unusual abilities. Keep talking. Anyways, we were living in peace, being self-sufficient there, but one day the violets suddenly began to turn to waste. Place decaying, water's no longer flowing, air stifling. Do you know why? I don't know. See, then why are you doing this? To revive my hometown. Violets were once more crowded with life than they are now. All kinds of anomalous bugs are coming in from the outside. See, what did I mention this? When the violet was ruined, not all of them agreed to save the violet. Who is that? Other bugs, especially flies, roaches, cicadas, mosquitoes. You know, those guys. You hate when you hear their names. Please tell me more. Do the moths engage in racism? Was that moth race? Moth race? What is this? I love this. What is going on right now? The Korean SCP Wiki is wild. I need to know more about all of this. In the early days of devastation of the violets, everyone was in favor of saving them. When there was no sign of improvement, they ran away, and it was argued that we have to supply food and resources from the outside. It would be foolish to save the violets any longer. Can't you see what outside means here? What? Really don't know? I mean, you guys, the houses of humans, they invade your place of residence, eat yours, take yours away. Oh. In the process, we disagreed with them. First of all, the risk is too high. Even if you're quick like them, most bugs die when they meet humans. Death. What happened? Seeking coexistence with humans. We do it this way. I see. Well, we always pursued coexistence with humans, but humans don't always like us. I think it's because the bugs left the violets. Why? What do you think about it? Violet deserters like mosquitoes, flies, and cockroaches. Ah. Furthermore, out of the anomalous ones, either they spread the plague by polluting the plague gods, some huge danger to themselves. Are there a lot of bugs these days? You know? Like that? Alright, at this point, the interview seems to be sufficient. SCP-529-KO. Thanks for your cooperation. You should leave. Oh, are you done? Yes. Now save us as promised. Then, let's start the game. What? SCP-529-KO pulls out a disposable lighter. Immediately after that, an explosion occurred and SCP-529-KO was lost. As a result, dispatching personnel for further investigations. There are hundreds of millions of bodies of SCP-621-KO-2 at the site. No live SCP-621-KO instances were found during the investigation. Now I gotta know more about 529. Well, hold on. Can I... Hold on. Where's 529? 529. I have to know more about this. CP-529. I have to know more. What are you? The SCP-529-KO, right? Is there not a page translated? What? What is this character that just showed up? I guess he's gone now. I can't find the original... I can't find him in the... Yeah, it's just an SCP-629. Oh man, that sucks. I really wanted to know more. Oh well, I guess we'll hit another random... ZH? Oh, that's for Chinese. Okay, so this one's from the Chinese wiki. Man, that sucks. I wonder if I could, like... I wonder if I could find it from the... Hold on. I wonder if there's a way for me to find it elsewhere. It's like there's 521, and then it just skips to 524. Then there's 516, 555. Let's see. Yeah, no. Korean Wiki is officially represented and this hub is maintained. Oh man. I wonder. Okay, I've got to dig on this. I'm like fixated. 529 KO. That's a cat. Cat. This is just for the half cat. It's like on the base ass SCP wiki. I'm probably not gonna find it. Okay, I'll look into it later. We'll dig more into this mysterious character of SCP-529 later. So this is SCP-ZH-037. So, SCP-ZH-037, item class safe, special containment procedures. SCP-ZH-037 is to be contained in a typically round pool at the top of a cone-shaped plastic membrane in Site-ZH-13 and monitored by at least one researcher. The daily needed feed of SCP-ZH-037 is recycled from the used materials of Site-ZH-13. An artificial sandy coast has been set beside the pool for containment to avoid inconvenience of recycling SCP-ZH-037 Specimen A in water. The feed from SCP-ZH-037-1 and SCP-ZH-037-2 should be kept supplied with recycled materials in Site-ZH-13. The source of feed of SCP-ZH-037-3 is under evaluation of the Ethics Committee. What are you doing over there? Currently, the source of the blank D personnel to be blanked. Okay, so we're feeding it D class. Why are we feeding it D class? What is going on here? Why is it under investigation by the Ethics Committee? Description. SCP-ZH-037 is a female hawksbill sea turtle from Pacific Ocean with normal external features. The item is currently approximately redacted years in age, 0.8 meters long, and 75 kilograms in mass. SCP-ZH-37 will actively consume and digest artificial objects made of plastic or petroleum-derived product, rather than the sponges that is consumed by a normal hawksbill sea turtle. In the internal digestive system, SCP-ZH-037 has a significant deviation from that of a normal hawksbill sea turtle. SCP-ZH-037's ability to digest petroleum-derived products has been confirmed by the X-ray image scan of it, while detailed mechanisms of the ability remain unknown currently. Okay. Different. Interesting. SCP-ZH-037 can secrete SCP-ZH-037-A from its eyes. The ingredients of SCP-ZH-037-A include at least 60 kinds of minimal elements, while the majority of the composition are water sodium chloride. No protein elements that is contained in tiers of normal organisms are found in these specimens. SCP-ZH-037-A can be seen as clean ocean water without impurity in it. SCP-ZH-037 can produce approximately 30 milliliters of SCP-ZH-037 per second. The longest observed duration of SCP-ZH-037 continuously secreting SCP-ZH-037-A is 20 hours. SCP-ZH-037 is first observed to emerge in the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in blank. Staff from local ocean sweeper witnessed SCP-ZH-037 continually attempt to reach the contaminated water area during operation. The behavior of the item led to concerns from the animal protecting organism from animal protecting organizations and reports to the Foundation. During the first month of containment, SCP-ZH-037 has tried impacting the glass tank by its body for several instances. Decreased activity and appetite for the item has been noticed. Evaluation improvements on containment procedures proceeding. The physical condition of SCP-ZH-037 is to be maintained before evaluation is complete. Autoinfection and secondary trauma should be avoided. SCP-ZH-037 has been observed to lay 5 eggs on an artificial sandy coast during the nocturnal period. The descendants of SCP-ZH-037 are designated SCP-ZH-037-1, SCP-ZH-037-2, SCP-ZH-037-5. Results of the hatch to be observed. SCP-ZH-037 1, 2, 3, and 4 have hatched with no abnormal features compared to normal hawksbill sea turtles. These entities refuse to digest regular food, a normal hawksbill sea turtle. Property of characteristics of food required for these descendants are to be further examined. The ability of SCP-ZH-037-1, 2, 3, and 4, producing SCP-ZH-037-A, has been confirmed. The needed digestion of each of the entities has been displayed in the following forms. SCP-ZH-037-1. Products of iron, aluminum, and other metallic textures are desired for digestion. The thickest of these objects should be accessible for SCP-ZH-037-1's mastation, such as disposed iron or aluminum cans. 2 requires most the paper and aluminum folded paper boxes. Foiled paper boxes, not folded. It was observed that SCP-ZH-037-2 is prone to consume aluminum foiled paper boxes of soft drinks. 037-3 Human tissues. Not limited to muscle, skeleton, viscera, hair, nails, or other metabolized product. SCP-037-3 refuses to digest any meat other than that of Homo sapiens. This also demonstrates hostility towards human beings to an extent. SCP-ZH-037-4 process of experiments on SCP-ZH-034's digestive behavior is expunged. Corpse of the entity has been preserved in storage area of high-level hazardous biological specimens. The proposal of redesignating SCP-ZH-037 to be Euclid class is under evaluation. As the hatch of overdelayed SCP-ZH-037-5 has been dissected after an integral discussion, the contents of SCP-ZH-037-5 are shown to be disposed fishing nets, caps of bottles, plastic straws, etc. No biological entity is observed in the content. So it's basically trash turtles that eat garbage and waste. I'm assuming, considering the last two, -4 and -5, I'm going to make an educated guess and say that -4 might have consumed stuff like biological waste or even like radioactive waste, considering it was coined as a hazard, specifically a biohazard. And then we also have SCP-5, or the 5th one, which is just made up of non-biological material. So I'm thinking that maybe the mother has an anomalous property that comes from eating all of these non-biological materials, which is very fascinating. I am very fascinated by this. It's a very, very unique SCP. What do we got next? What she got for me here? PL. I think that's the Philippine hub, isn't it? Or no, Polish hub. Yeah, this is another plant. Yes, another plant. Let's see. Let me get comfy here. Let me unshrimp myself. Oh, it's got a threat level to it too. That's not common. SCP-PL-166. Object class safe. Threat level blue. I don't think we went over threat levels, so I will look this up real quick so I don't lie to anyone. Okay. That's what I thought. Threat level blue is beneficial. We don't know enough about it to properly utilize it. So, special containment procedures. The subject should be cultivated on a standard mushroom growing medium. The lower layers of the substrate must be enriched with constantly supplied amounts of human muscle tissue, internal organs, appropriate to the current needs. In justified cases, there is a significant risk of breeding. It is allowed to use a whole human body. Description: SCP-PL-166 is a species of fungus resembling the members of Xylaria, specifically Xylaria longips, long-leaved humus. The main feature that distinguishes it from ordinary animals. Xylaria is a spartotrophic, feeding on dead human tissue. All specimens obtained so far have been discovered in cemeteries, which is a logical consequence in the most favorable conditions for growth of the necropolises. Like the normal representation of Xylaria, SCP-PL-166 is not significant in size and has a similar biological structure. The elongated mycelium allows it to absorb the nutrients of carcasses under the soil. The organism is capable of bioluminescence, taking place in fruiting bodies due to their appropriately modified tissue. The flow produced is imperceptible during the day, but noticeable after dark. The light emitted by fruiting bodies has a different color, usually not exceeding the basic colors. The intensity of the glow emitted is strictly dependent on the amount of nutrients in the carcass that is used and decreases along with their depletion. SCP-PL-166 can often be equated with the light source traditionally left at burial sites, as the glow, due to its low brightness, can be mistaken for an extinguishing incandescent candle. The fruiting bodies with rootstock, which are imperceptible during the day, do not differ much from local biocenosis. The above-mentioned features are responsible for such a late recognition of facility by the Foundation. Addendum 166-1. Object properties can be helpful in forensic broadcasting. Since the subject is able to live actively only on human tissue, its existence clearly indicates the presence of a corpse, which can be noticed and can be invaluable in helping find them. Due to a lack of knowledge regarding the natural reproductions of SCP-PL-166 by seeding spores, using the helpful property without artificial cultivation is a mastery of future knowledge. That's neat. It's basically like a corpse finder. I can see why the Foundation would need that. It would be really useful, especially in scenarios where you might be dealing with a widespread event. I hate that. Every time I drink, like, why does it do that? It like freaks out. I guess probably because it can't see my face. Why do you do this? Why do you do this? 166-2. SCP-166 PL-166 was obtained from a Paris cemetery at... Oh, those are Polish words. I can't say that. Say Wolszewczyk in Mikolau? Mikolau? Significant amount of the mushroom was artificially planted on newly created graves. Malgorodsta. The amount of light emitted aroused the interest of the cemetery caretakers. Foundation reacted after information was leaked to the public. The investigation led to the husband of the deceased Big new. That is not how you say that, and I already know that. Agents in the man's home found materials indicating membership of the Polish Anomalous Mushrooms Association. From the obtained items, a pamphlet issued by the association containing information about SCP-166 found in an empty chest, by which he testified was a mycelium with developing rootstocks. The package was to be received at a special request supported by the situation of the recent discovery of a rare mushroom. Is this an entire... This is an entire brand. This is an entire organization that just deals in anomalous mushrooms and fungi. That is so neat. The following is PZGA's printed brochure containing a description of PL-166. Graveyard Skylight, Lux Camatarium. An edible mushroom appearance. Small club-shaped bases rise above the soil surface. The fruiting bodies that do not differ from the base are on their tips. The mycelium is very, very extensive. Anomalous properties. Creates a colored glow depending on the decomposition state of the human carcass on which it feeds. Alright, cemeteries and other places of mass storage of corpses. History of use. Discovered in 1891 by Milos. I'm not even going to try that one. Appreciating its aesthetic qualities, he began to cultivate it, which was condemned by the board due to the method of collecting the remains for breeding purposes. Currently left in the wild, few maintained and controlled cultures operate in concert with medical facilities supplying tissue. Recommendation: the ideal condition for the mushroom hunting are at night. The mycelium can be safely removed at the top of the soil, but it is advised to keep a piece adjacent to the rotting tissue to leave the fungus alive. Due to the fact that the man was a regular member of the association, he was given Class D11 amnestics and released under the supervision of agents. Before being released, the man testified that he wanted to light a light from Malgosia to shine as long as possible. Oh my gosh. He found spooky anomalous mushrooms to have a light on his wife's grave so that she would always have a light shining. That's romantic. Also, I want to know more about this foundation, this like anomalous mushrooms group. They have a page. Oh my goodness. Oh, and they have... Okay, so they've got hands in a bunch of different... Got some tails to them. Let's read about the association real quick. The Foundation first confrontation with GOI 57120 was in the year 18 blank during the containment of SPPL blank. Information gathered to this day indicates the activities of GOI called Polish Anomalous Mushroom Picking Association. That organization is focusing on gathering, researching, and processing, probably mainly for financial reasons, anomalies with fungal characteristics. Polish Anomalous Mushroom Picking Association has a structure based on the director's board of management, with the chairman at the top. Every board member has their own branch which is responsible for specified aspects of the organization's activities. All branches have their own structures connected to internal management, held funds, way of new member recruitment, and mood prevailing among their members. The Foundation right now distinguishes 6 branches which are responsible for mushroom gathering, research, selling processed products, advertising, camouflaging the organization in specific environments, preventing crisis situation, human resources, and then another one doing unspecified tasks assigned by the chairman. PZGA's branch, which is responsible for picking mushrooms, is mainly gathering persons interested in the pastime, picking various mushroom species with properties unusual for other organisms belonging to that kingdom. Membership gives them a possibility to get knowledge about anomalous mushrooms and develop their passions. The association runs their own mycology scientific research, Purpose of that activity is to discover specific properties of fungal subjects to precisely describe and catalog them. The Foundation doesn't know much about PZGA's methods of research. Known species of fungi are described in two forms. Most popular are special leaflets published among the association's members, which are containing basic practical information about specific mushroom species and descriptions of preceding cases of danger coming from this unnatural specimen. Full documentation about the species and the anomalous mushrooms is deemed top secret by the association. Access to these files is only given to members which are responsible for fungus research. Oh, I love this. Gathering verified information about other divisions of the organization is ongoing. Every year at the end of the summer, PZGA is organizing an event called the Harvest Festival. Location of all events is secret and known only to organization members. So far, all attempts to discover where the event is organized failed. Harvest Festival's main purpose is to integrate the association's members. Worth of notice is the fact that this event is not mandatory and most participating members come from gathering and researching branch. Climax of Harvest Festival is choosing a person that had the best results in picking or researching mushrooms that year. That person is gifted with the role of PZGA agent. Agents are honored members of the association. Their practical knowledge is an asset in tasks taken by these persons. Their jobs mainly involve discovery and recovery of new specimens of anomalous fungi, as well as taking initial efforts into developing safety measures in case subjects pose danger. Agents work in conspiracy. It's the reason why all attempts capturing them have failed. They are promoted by the chairman himself. There are no informations about past chairmen of the organization, changes in that position, in contrast to the director's board, which was created in 19 redacted. During regrowth of the organization's influence, the Foundation does not have enough information about the chairman as a person, except the fact that he is the boss of the whole association. Members of PZGA, except for the boards of directors and persons working directly under him, can meet the chairman only on the finish and promotion given during the Harvest Festival, during new agent promotion, or in a time where they get the promotion in the chairman branch. For unknown reasons, all interrogated members cannot give any useful descriptions of the chairman. Yo! There's an entire group in the SCP International. This goes like to Ukraine, Russia. I saw something from the Chinese wiki. When I checked the related works, this is an entire organization that I probably wouldn't have known about unless I actually sat down and looked into the international wiki. That just deals in spores, molds, and fungi. And they have a mushroom picking festival every year to see who's the best mushroom collector. That is amazing. I love them. I love these guys. The PZGA is top tier. Oh, that's great. Oh, I want to know so much more. But we've got to keep going. So what is this one? What is this one? This one is 1973RU-J. This is a joke. Oh, I love joke SCPs. Euclid. SCP-1973-J wasn't suspended from his current position because of his non-dangerous anomalous effects. Confidently, individual Site 7 staff has implemented a pataphysics department. SCP-1973-J is a 45-year-old janitor in Site 7. For the incident, SCP-197-A thought it to be normal in every sense. The normal man, George's nationality, he was recruited under the standard procedure service personnel recruitment. SCP-197-J has the ability allowing him to get information access to where from which he is impossible. For example, the names of people he meets for the first time, the exact time. SCP-197-3 197-197-3-J According to him, got his property after he started working the Foundation. However, the organization became known of his abilities only after 1973-A's incident. Further information. So well, it's a transcript of incident 1973-A that occurred in Site 7 on October 16th, 2022. The strong accent of SCP-197-1973-A is depicted using derivatives. Chaos Insurgency spy Maxim Blank, disguised as security officer Maximon Blank, goes down the hallway towards safe containment wing. Subjects meet site within SCP-1973-J. In the meantime, was washing floors from blood left by Dr. K. This is so weird. Joke SCPs are so weird. I got another one. Ooh, this one's threat level white. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Object is beneficial to the Foundation. Its use is strictly regulated. Oh, let's see. One is from the French wiki. I think before we start it, I might take a minute and just go run to the restroom real quick. And I will come back. And then we will read some more. I need to take a breather. Also because my nose is getting a little weird from talking for so long. Hold on. Let me pop you guys over the BRB screen. And then let me give you some music. I will be right back. Take me like just a second. Sit tight, don't go anywhere. Oh, okay. Let me get myself situated again. Get you some. There it is. I think it's running. Hold on. Are you running? Where are you? There you are. Okay, back at it. Ooh, this one's interesting. This is a long one. Ooh. Kind of excited for this one, actually. SCP-505-FR. Threat level right, object class safe. Special containment procedures. The entrance of SCP-505-FR has been sealed behind an armored gate, requiring a level 3 clearance magnetic card for access. Once per week, a patrol of 6 security agents to enter SCP-505-FR travel to SCP-505-FR-10 Malkuth. Collect all the baskets within and deliver them to Site Alepht's Kitchens. Any questions regarding the history of SCP-505-FR must be directed to Dr. Cornelius Atano. Any questions regarding the anomalous properties of 505-FR must be addressed to Anna Jerrison. Any questions regarding the containment and exploration of 505-FR must be addressed to Agent Jean-Marc Vistrat. Description: SCP-505-FR is a network of troglodyte galleries carved inside Mount Blanc, France. Dated back to the 12th century CE. They are divided into 11 distinct sectors depending on the composition of the walls. SCP-505-FR-0, Doth, Wall Composition Diamond. FR-1, Ether, White Limestone. -2, Chokma, Gray Stone. -3, Bina, Black Slate. -4, Chesed, Bluestone. -5, Yabura, Red Quartz. -6, Tiferet, Brownstone. -7, Nitsak, Greenstone. -8, Pod, Orange Clay. -9, Yesod, Purple Stone. And -10, Malkuth, Multicolored Stone. Together, these rooms cover an abnormally vast surface area which is incompatible with the geometry of the mountain. The air inside SCP-505-FR is renewed through an unknown process, allowing a constant percentage of oxygen at all times. No electrical system can function inside 505-FR. Kerosene lamps are therefore required for exploration. Moreover, numerous freshwater streams have been inserted inside the corridors in between rooms. The only entrance to SCP-505-FR was a 5-meter-high archway. An armored gate equipped with a magnetic identification system was installed in 19... Yes. Leads to a 20-meter-high, 2,000-meter cave designated SCP-505-FR-9 Yesod, carved in an unidentified purple stone.
Oh, Jennifer, what have these coffee beans done to you?
505-FR-10 Malkuth is a set of 26 rooms with a loose soil ground and multicolored walls, all connected to a central corridor. Each room spans 500 to 1,000 meters, with an internal height of 3 meters. It's really small, actually. The structure is supported by numerous caratids holding various medieval agricultural tools. When no human being is inside of these rooms and the entrance is closed, various crops will develop at normal speeds, about 10 times faster than usual. These crops show no sign of lack of water, light, or nutrients. When the produce reaches maturity, it is gathered inside willow baskets at the entrance of the room. Each of the 26 rooms harbors a distinct monoculture: oats, beets, carrots, citrons, cabbage, lemons, dates, spelt, legumes, figs, strawberries, pomegranates, beans, millet, bitter oranges, onions, barley, green peas, pears, chickpeas, apples, plums, grapes, buckwheat, and rye. At the edges of these monocultures are a number of spices such as Chinese cassia, cloves, cumin, ginger, nutmeg, black pepper, and sage. Hi, Racer, welcome in. I hope you're having a good night so far. Oh. We're just enjoying some international SCP. SCP-505-FR-8 HOD is an area made of soft orange clay. The surface area could not be measured, as the walls constantly change shape in a random manner and therefore trap visitors inside. Well, I hope you enjoy your vibing. We tend to enjoy the vibes here ourselves. The goal. Those who have met this fate could not be recovered and are considered lost. The ground is equally soft. Any massive object placed onto it gradually sinks until it disappears. The same effect can be observed when an item is pressed into the walls or the ceiling. No successful crossing of the sector has been achieved so far. SCP-505-FR-5 Gubra. Guebura, that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. Is a room carved in red quartz, measuring 4.6 meters in height by 520 meters in length, 220 meters in width. It's entirely sterile since the walls absorb any germs present in the air. Architecture with columns and semicircle arches is reminiscent of some medieval synagogues. It contains 26 stills carved in the same red quartz and engraved with inscriptions in Hebrew from the Sefer Yetzirah. I probably butchered that. Not gonna lie, I've been on a roll of butchering words tonight. I think Polish Wiki ruined me. If any living being falls asleep on one of these, it will enter a lethargic state where it will no longer need water, air, food, or anything to sustain itself, and no longer shows signs of aging or decay. There is currently no known way of awakening affected subjects. 505-FR-7 Nitsap is a circular room 1,200 meters in diameter with a matte green stone wall in which 26 alcoves have been carved. 26 seems to be an important number in this one. All of which contain permanently soft clay. One writes using a stick or other pointed object the word alagada. The word alagada in clay, it will solidify and then can be pushed like a door to access SCP-2264-B. So that's an entirely other... This is from the main wiki. This is... Oh, okay. This is a chamber beneath Martin Tower in London. I have to read into that. That sounds interesting, actually. I love when SCPs connect to each other in interesting ways. I always think that's fun. When this door is closed, sliding one's hand over the writing will erase it, turning the surface back into soft clay. It is assumed that writing other Hebrew words could open passages to other places, but it has not yet been demonstrated. SCP-505-FR-6 Tifereth is a collection of rooms with brown stone walls and a total surface of about 20,000 meters squared. A 5 to 50 centimeters thick layer of ashes cover the ground of the entire area. At least 130 black statues around 20 centimeters in height, designated SCP-505-FR6-A, are dissimulated within this layer. When no humans are present, they constantly move at a speed of 2 kilometers per hour. Fascinating. I wonder why they do that. without following a clear path. When a human enters the area, the statuettes all converge towards the ladder and follow them until they leave. The statue touches their skin, their memories will rapidly fade from newest to oldest, as if they were injected with Class B amnestics at a rate of 48 hours per minute of contact. I mean, that would be pretty effective, isn't it? This is threat level white, so I can imagine that would be a pretty effective way of maybe figuring out a little bit more about how amnestics work. SCP-505-FR-4 Chesed is a room stretching across 8,000 meters squared and built similarly to a medieval synagogue. Its walls are made of very hard, dark blue, unknown material. Human remains inside for more than 1 minute. They will feel compelled to go to the bima and hang themselves with a rope that will manifest in their hands. This is such a weird one. It's different than, like, I'm usually, like, super used to, you know? This is, like, pretty different. I wonder why. The book in Hebrew, the retrieval of this book has been declared a level 7 priority by the O5 Council. However, no personnel sent into the Chesed were able to retrieve it. They all hung themselves before fulfilling their mission. Here's the desire to take the book proportionately increases the subject's suicidal complications. 505-FR-2 Choklama is a -3 and -3 are two similar rooms, walls made of gray stone and black slate respectively. They are both shaped like lecture theaters and are able to accommodate 8,000 people each. Thousands of human skeletons, 11 to 61 years old, are suspended to both ceilings. During the initial exploration of these sectors by the SCP Foundation, 505-FR-2 contained 4,951 individual skeletons. And 505-FR-3 contained 5,174. Only individuals identifying as male can enter 505-FR-2. Others, women, genderless individual animals, seem to collide with undetectable walls. Similarly, only individuals identifying as female can enter 505-FR-3. Moreover, individuals who remain inside for more than half an hour run the risk of experiencing serious bleeding from the nose, mouth, bits that I can't talk about on Twitch. There is no known way of interrupting the phenomenon once it is begun. 505-FR-1 Kithra is a pentagonal white limestone room. It has the highest elevation. When an individual located inside shouts the sentence, "Let us visit the Hang King to seek," they are immediately transported into a room whose location is unknown, designated SCP-505-FR-0 Doth. This room is the exact shape of a cube whose sides are 5.04 meters, with walls made of an unknown, very strong crystal similar to diamond. Inside there are 26 skeletons wearing 12th century Venetian masks. A high relief representing a large genderless humanoid creature, referred to as SCP-505-FR-0A, has been carved into one of the walls. A question asked in Hebrew while looking at the ladder, an answer will be heard after 5 to 30 seconds. This answer is always formulated in Hebrew by a deep voice. 505-FR-0A has demonstrated knowledge of everything that occurs or has occurred inside SCP-505-FR. It is therefore considered to be a reliable source of information regarding SCP-505-FR's history. Fascinating. Why is it considered white? Is it because of the food that comes from it? Because it said that it's like it said before that it's like an entire food source. Drinking water with RTX on is like having an exorcism on. does it do that? I hate it. Oh god, that's gross. Why? Okay. Oh gosh. Following information has been obtained by interrogating 505 FR Belay. Alright. 505 FR was founded in 1218 by 78 Kabbalist rabbis of the Burgundian school. They had been convicted of heresy in 1211 by Duke Odo III of Burgundy and forced into exile from his lands with their wives and children. At the time, 505 FR was referred to as Aleph City. Kabbalistic techniques were used throughout the location for civil engineering purposes. For example, the city was lit by an eternal menorah, and many kinds of labor were carried out by golems. Politically, it was governed by a form of parliamentary, gender egalitarian gerontocracy unique in Europe. Judicially, it was only punishment for wrongdoers was banishment. Writing the offender's name in the book of the Shun, which was kept in one of the rooms but has not been found yet, would render them unable to pass the entrance gate. The official language is Hebrew, fluently spoken by most citizens. Strange. I wonder what happened. Malkuth was the agricultural district. Nesed was a vast lobby where non-citizens reside. Hod was the embassy district. I'm just kind of shorting these. This is a really long one, but I want to move on to another one. I do think this one's fascinating, though. Nesech is the residential district. Tifereth, the library district. Yubra, the medical district. Chesed, the synagogue where religious services were performed. Shumak and Bina, two assemblies consisting of men and women, which was their parliamentary district. Cather is the chamber where the Council of Elders would be. The city prospered from 1218 to 1366, when an incident was described below. Huh. I'm not going to read into the incident. I might save this one for later, but I might come back to it and do a rereading. Description of the incident affects most of the rooms are altered, rendering them more dangerous. 13 male and 13 female survivors were found. That is about it. I feel like I've heard that term before. Interesting. Let's see. It is another one. Oh, this is another one from the Chinese hub. I wanted to move along. I feel like that one was interesting, but I wanna read at least more today. SCP-CN-1174 Object Class C. SCP-CN-1174 is to be contained in the Chinese Anomalous Objects Department Protected Locker number NH1120. Researchers who wish to experiment on SCP-CN-1174 should contact the Anomalous Objects Department Manager, currently Dr. Tianjing? Yes, I think. At least 1 week in advance to acquire approval from at least one Level 3 member personnel. During the experiment, it must be ensured that SCP-CN-1174 is located in a room at least 1 meter away from the main testing personnel. All testing that involves direct contact with the object must be performed by D-Class personnel. Without written authorization from Level 4 researcher Dr. Relief, any Foundation staff that directly interact with the object will be forcibly amnesticized. SCP-CN-1174 is a Royal Quiet Deluxe 3rd Model typewriter with no serial number or date code. CN-1174's anomalous properties manifest when paper is inserted and a human subject begins to type on it. When the subject finishes typing and removes the paper from the typewriter, the paper will rapidly combust, and a green low-temperature flame will be produced. The heat produced by this flame is insufficient to burn the skin or light other papers. Attempts to prevent the combustion of the paper have failed. The ashes produced do not appear to be anomalous. 3 to 5 minutes after the paper has been fully burnt, the subject, henceforth C91174-2, will slowly begin to lose their hearing, simultaneously developing a certain degree of lip reading ability. CN1174-2's previous knowledge of lip reading, their lip reading ability will increase in accuracy. At the same time, depending on what the subject typed, they will begin to hear various sounds. See addendum. Listen to me. I wonder who made it. Oh, that's so weird looking. Hold on, if I just... Hold on, let me... No. You... I'm trying to block my... You know what? I'm just gonna do that. So I don't look like a monster every time I move my face. Lord. Okay. Typically, the auditory hallucination experienced by SCP-CN1174-2 will begin to fade after 1 hour and their ability to hear will regenerate. Within 1 hour and 10 minutes, the anomalous effect will end. This effect appears to be somewhat addictive. While SCP-CN1174-2 will display their desire to use SCP-CN1174 again, it is unknown whether or not withdrawal symptoms exist. SCP-CN1174 was discovered on 2020. The rest of the data is redacted. In Serpent's Hand member Blank's residence, following this level 2 researcher Noel and level 3 researcher Tion completed initial experiments at Site CN40 under level 4 researcher Dr. Server's vision, after which the object was transferred to the Chinese Anomalous Department for containment. Experiment log SCP-CN1174-A. Damage for unknown reasons. Please contact Information Security Department for further information. Here is a log. Subject in trait. Memorized in station of the metro in Chinese. Auditory hallucination was a young female repeatedly reading the full text of In Station of the Metro in Chinese. Read The Nightingale and the Rose in Chinese, but did not remember its contents. Auditory hallucination was a middle-aged man repeating and reading the full text of Nightingale and the Rose in Chinese. Read Nightingale and the Rose in Chinese, but not in English. Auditory hallucination was an elderly female repeatedly reading the full text of Nightingale and the Rose in English. Listen to the song Faded. Paper did not burn. No effect observed. Listen to the song Faded. Auditory hallucination. The song Faded played on loop. Did not know the date of birth of George Washington. Paper did not burn. No effect. So it only reacts to certain things. That's weird. It's interesting. Knew the date of birth of George Washington. Auditory hallucination was a robotic voice stating the date of birth of George Washington. Mother is deceased. Put in talk to me, mother. Auditory hallucination was D-Class's mother's voice, which could respond to D-Class's speech. Subject wrote down crying during the experiment, but whether this is an anomalous factor or not is unknown. That's just sad. Oh, that's just sad. I previously talked to Noel, but had not heard the song Abide With Me. Auditory hallucination was Noel repeatedly singing Abide With Me. It's just sad. Read the Brothers Karamazov in Chinese, but did not remember its contents. Auditory hallucination was of an unknown young female reading the text of the Brothers Karamazov in Chinese. Hallucination lasted far beyond 1 hour and finished only when the full text was read. Talk me to death. Redacted. Subject regained ability of rational thought after amnesticization. Anything. Auditory hallucination was the sound of cats meowing. Auditory hallucination was a commentary for a non-existing boxing match. Nothing. Paper burned, but no auditory hallucination. Auditory hallucination was that of an unknown piece of rock music by an unknown band. Subject broke down crying during the experiment, but whether this is an anomalous effect or not is unknown. Favorite, auditory hallucination was redacted. 2. Auditory hallucination is believed to be the library archivist, Alverville, reading the library book Legend of Alverville. Everything. Auditory hallucination was incoherent noise. He class expressed that he was in severe pain and was tranquilized. Input was redacted. Auditory hallucinations of redacted. Subject gained the ability for rational thought after anesthetization. Interesting. About it for this one. Certainly different than some of these other ones. Have to, like... I'm a little bit sleepy. I didn't be this tired. I don't think. I should be able to read this. Let's see. What else is there? Well, that's a funky little dude. Hold on. Where's this one from? This is from the French. Oh, hold on. I have to share the image on screen. I want to show... Hold on. Look at this fucking Chad ass. Fucking... Hold on, can I, like... Where are you? Like... 100? This fucking Chad ass. Fucking lizard. This anomaly lizard. I have to share him. Look at him. Aw, he's non-Euclidean. What a cute little dude. A non-Euclidean iguana. Oh, he's so cute. Alright. Threat level orange. Object is unpredictable, exhibiting dangerous properties, and is difficult to recontain. It's a danger Euclidean lizard. He's dangerous. Oh, I love him. Tell me more. SCP-036-FR is to be contained in a reinforced concrete vivarium accessible by SAS located at depth 15 meters in Eritet's hurricane-proof bunker of at least 8 meters by 10 meters by 2 meters. Fixation joints will need to be made of removed data, information restricted from Engineering Department, codename A0383, in order to provide maximum resistance to the entity's capabilities. What does the danger lizard do? SCP-036-FR is to be fed 1 pig weighing at least 30 kilograms once per day. Its vivarium must be cleaned once every 2 days during its sleep cycle. All possible precautions. It's forbidden to enter SCP-036-FR's vivarium if the latter was not fed beforehand except for testing purposes. Exceptional approval of the site director, area blank, or in case of emergency such as a containment breach. Dangerous lizard. He's a cute little dude, though. SCP-036-FR is a terrestrial reptile similar in morphology to the Galapagos marine iguana, 1.34 meters long and 1.48 kilograms in weight. Black scales on its back and green scales under its throat and abdomen. It possesses the following mutations: absence of aquatic locomotion features, absence of feet adapted to swimming, circular tail, and absence of a dorsal fin. Lower legs allowing for easier terrestrial locomotion. SCP-036-FR is capable, using an organ located inside of its throat, of creating violent suction, attracting all objects caught into its mouth and into its digestive tract. The exact process through which the organs produce this suction is unknown. This lizard gives the big suck. This iguana gives the big suck. Oh, I love him. This is so weird. I love him. Suction is based on the creation of a violent pressure differential in SCP-036-FR's mouth and has an action radius around 10 meters. It has been calculated that its power is equivalent to that of a 230-kilometer wind? The biggest suck indeed! Oh my god, this is just Kirby as an iguana, yeah! Oh, I love him! Oh, he's so cute. I love him. As of right now, although buildings and objects attached to the ground can stand the suction power quite well, living beings inside of the action radius will eventually end up in contact with SCP-036-FR's mouth. SCP-036-FR's muscle and bone structure is extremely hard and resilient. Collision resistance has not yet been evaluated, specifically near the cranium, face, and jaw. When any object comes in contact with 036-FR's mouth, suction does not cease, and in fact is used by the entity in its feeding process in case the object is too big and gets stuck. Suction continues until the object breaks and can be attracted towards 036-FR's digestive tract. Oh my god, this is just Kirby the iguana. All objects attracted into SCP-036-FR's stomach will then be compressed and shredded by the muscles of the organ, apparently capable of producing a pressure force of over 280 kilograms per centimeter, until the formation of a boulder-like material which can be digested by SCP-036-FR's gastric acid. It has an estimated pH of 31. To this day, SCP-036-FR has been able to digest all submitted materials. Yo, Danger Lizard hitting it hard. The entity was discovered in 19 blank on the island of blank in the Galapagos archipelago, after a number of suspicious disappearances were reported among the local population. SCP-036-FR hunts by ambushing in its environment, mainly rocks or bushes, all drawing close enough to drag prey into its mouth. The entity mainly feeds on other large reptiles populating the island, other iguanas, turtles, monitor lizards, but may attack humans if it is starving. It has not yet been determined whether SCP-036-FR is an isolated mutated individual or a specimen of a recently appeared subspecies. Research on the island is ongoing. Oh, I love him! Oh, he's so cool! I love that! Oh, that's neat. Hold up. I want a Kirby lizard. I'd love to have a Kirby lizard. It'd be so stinking cool. I mean, he might try and, like, eat me, but at the same time, like, it's a Kirby lizard. Free Kirby! Oh, what's this one? Ooh, this is another Portuguese one. Interesting. Oh, we've been getting a lot of plants tonight. Tonight's plant night. Plants and fungus. Yeah, I just need to give him a piggy and make sure he has a nice, well taken care of, well ventilated room. And then I'll have a Kirby friend. That's it. When I redesign Poppet, I'm making him the lizard. I'm mostly kidding. When Poppet comes back, Poppet's gonna be just regular Poppet. Let's see. Alright. SCP-003-PT. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. Any area suspected of encompassing SCP-003-PT-1 must be externally introduced with Euschistus hero, bred and genetically modified for independent propagation and food preference for SCP-003-PT-2. Any plant in the encompassing gene of Eucheros are kept in reserves at Site PT-60. Inspections should be carried out once a month to assess and confirm continued effectiveness and the local extinction of SCP-003-PT-2. Areas with a biome similar to SCP-003-PT-1's native biome must be inspected monthly for signs of initial SCP-003-PT-2 proliferation. Observed failure in the described containment procedures must be recorded and submitted within a maximum period of 2 months. After said period, population evacuation measures within a radius of 600,000 kilometers must be carried out with top priority. Fascinating. What does it do? What is this spooky thing? SCP-003-PT is a climactic geological phenomenon caused by the natural cultivation of at least 20 individual sapling patches of SCP-003-PT-1 in soil with high concentrations of SCP-003-PT-1, followed by nutrient scarcity of the supposed interval of 4 to 6 months. Historical records point to SCP-003-PT as an event that occurred between the years whatever that is in 1970 something. However, theories of anomalous causes were only raised up through the discovery and evaluation of the properties of SCP-003-PT-2. Studies of possible historical or even global geological phenomena associated with SCP-003-PT-1 and 2 are ongoing. What a pretty plant. SCP-003-PT-1 is the designation for a soil compound originated by natural climatic conditions present in semi-arid regions, especially in the northeast region of Brazil. SCP-003-PT-1 looks identical to similar soil types in its own biome, and does not have anomalous properties so long as it does not have cultivation relationships with SCP-003-PT-2. Together with the conditions necessary for triggering SCP-003-PT. SCP-003-PT-2 are plants common to the genus Alternanthera dentata, commonly found in tropical and temperate biomes. SCP-003-PT-2 is rarely found in semi-arid biomes native of SCP-003-PT-1. Its high demand for nutrients and continuous hydration. How and when such plants were proliferating in SCP-003-PT-1's native biome is still unknown. The hypotheses for these hypotheses cite possible external introduction by migrant avian fauna or experiments with genetically modified organisms by agricultural producers in the region. SCP-003-PT manifests itself as a high-impact climate and geological composite event, despite the fact that the area affected is relatively small. The event usually has a default order of execution called steps. -1 suffers from a lack of water, and -2 loses nutrients, triggering SCP-003-PT. 003-PT begins creating cumulus congestus with 300-kilometer radius for 10 minutes. It begins to drizzle. 0.8 and 0.9 magnitude tidal waves begin at the closest tectonic plate convergence zone of SCP-003-PT-1 and -2. The drizzle from stage 2 gets worse, taking the form of a storm. Winds with a degree of 7 on the Beaufort scale are recorded moving towards the submarine earthquake caused earlier. This one's so weird. Tsunami signs can be recorded at approximately 200 kilometers from the previous earthquake. The phenomenon is directed towards the location of 003-PT-1's and -2's area, regardless of pre-existing maritime flow in the area. Tsunami reaches the continental coastline with altitude varying from 15 to 25 at most. Tsunami travels distance necessary to reach the location of PT-1 and 2. 003-PT ceases activity for approximately 2 days after onset. 003-PT's impact in 00-PT-2 remains rooted and appears healthier. It's a really weird plant. As stated, phenomena caused by SCP-003-PT are usually catastrophic for the region's fauna, flora, and native population. Nevertheless, the newly created water body's extension is not preserved and rapidly absorbs. SCP-003-PT-1 in mixed soil recovery time of the geological area is usually a month, after which the adaptive life form can be introduced. On 11/12/19 blank, after a drought of 4 months and 16 days in the area farther away from the seafront of the cities of Sakara do Notre, São Bento do Notre, and Pedro Grande, local news reported heavy clouds rapidly expanding. Oh, I'm gonna cough. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh god. Oh, that hurt. Ugh. Ugh. I'm so sorry. Oof. Most of the cities, despite the scale of such phenomenon, hadn't been reported in local or national weather forecasts. After a 30-minute period following this event, stages 2 and 4 of SCP-003-PT took over, and stage 3 was reported by ships of the National Navy stationed in the North Pacific Ocean, in the form of a tidal wave of magnitude 8.5 on the Richter scale. The population of Pedro Grande was warned that a small earthquake would be felt in the next few days, but that phenomenon would probably keep itself miles away from the northeast seafront. Approximately 20 hours and 16 minutes on the same day, waves were observed receding into the sea. 20 hours and 20 minutes, tsunami waves of amplitude 20 could be observed on their way to the seafront of the mentioned cities. At 20 hours and 22 minutes, these waves made for contact with the continent's coast, causing imminent destruction of a total radius of 360 kilometers squared, destroying 90% of buildings in their path and submerging all fauna and flora present. The number of casualties among local inhabitants is estimated at blank sum of 3 cities affected by the phenomenon. The impact emergency surveyors were mobilized in order to explain the unusual phenomenon. Undercover agents from the Foundation's Lusophone branch contacted their supervisors, and initial containment teams were deployed into the area. A large-scale fundraising campaign for survivor families was initiated. Journalists were instructed to report the event as previously occurring phenomenon in the area, intensified by climate change. Temporary containment parameters were established within 7 days of suspicion of the anomalous cause. Termination of search for survivors after 1 month of recovery period in the affected area. Usual proliferation of Aidentata was reported in fertile areas, however inappropriate for the genus of the region, apparently without any influence of external factors. That was interesting. That was a little weird. Oh, how are you guys doing so far? Liking it? Is I know it's a little different. I love doing SCP nights. They're fun, they're relaxing. I always have a good time. Hold on. They really are fun and relaxing. It's like it's enjoyable. It's different. I like doing the international wiki because it's, how do I put it? I feel like the international wiki is just enjoyable in its own right because of how different it is. You get to see everything from the perspective of what another country in another language would make for an SCP. There's always something different. I always find it to be like super fun whenever I do it. Let's see. I'm also stalling a little bit because the random button. Yeah. And sometimes they link back to other like wikis. Like sometimes you'll see they link back to like the main wiki, or they link back to like another hub. I think when we were reading the one about the mushrooms, it linked back to think like the Russian hub, the Ukrainian hub, and a few other hubs, which I always find to be like super, super interesting. You never know what you're gonna get with them. There's always something interesting with the international range. I'm also stalling for time a little bit because the random button's on a 60-second cooldown, and I accidentally hit it before the cooldown was done, which means that I have to wait until after the 60 seconds is up. So we're gonna talk for a second. Hi. I feel like I really do enjoy it though. I think that like overall, doing the international wiki obviously is just fun. You get something different every time. It's never the same thing. It's never the same idea. Not to say that the like regular SCP wiki is like bad about that, but it does feel kind of samey after a while. So I always like doing new stuff like this. I'm gonna wait just a minute longer. Should be able to do it now. Can I have a random? No. Okay. That's fine. Maybe that's my sign to like stop here. Because it is getting a little bit late. It's a little bit later than I would usually do. Besides, we gotta stream tomorrow too. I think I've got... What all do I have planned for this week? We'll just sit and talk for a second. I feel like that's enjoyable. I don't mind chatting. Wait, turn on some music. Oh, have a nice little talk. I think this week we have a few different things set up. Tomorrow I'm going to be playing Okami. Wednesday I'm going to be playing Zero Escape. Thursday night I'm going to be working on art. So we have at least like packed little day, little week. Hopefully won't get interrupted like last week. I'm planning on not letting it go. Last week was awful. But I'm busy. Trying to keep busy. I've been doing some stuff to the side too. It's like stuff that I'm not gonna talk about. But I've been doing a lot of extra stuff. And then like also I think art needs to do some mission stuff. And then maybe like other stuff. But, you know. It's been a busy week. I've been really busy lately. I mean, not as busy as I usually am, but I feel like I've got like a lot less energy than I usually do. Which kind of sucks. But you know, hold on. Let me transport us to out of the facilities here. I feel like I should probably I think that's... Yeah. Wrong button. Yeah, the change of season really does affect it, if I'm being, like, completely honest. Get rid of that. Change of season really does affect it. It makes everything feel, like, a lot more out of it. I always feel a little bit more out of it when winter hits. And it's been really cold! Like, it's, like, the seasons have started to change, and, like, I am not used to it being this absolutely cold. It's really fucking cold right now. Like, I've got my heater on full blast. I'm a very, like, I get cold really easy. So when this shit happens, I get really cold really easy. So I'm trying to, like, keep myself warm. Which, I mean, it could be a lot worse. I could be a lot worse off. I think it's also time for, like, hot cocoa season. I can start getting breaking out the Swiss Miss, which is like my favorite indicator that winter has come. Have to have the Swiss Miss, and the Swiss Miss has to have marshmallows in it. I'm a little bit jealous right now, because I found out that they make marshmallows now with chocolate inside of them. Chocolate inside of them with, there's another one. I don't like peppermint. That doesn't really affect me. There's another one that has, like, peppermint bark. Like, it's got peppermint bark inside of it. And, like, chocolate and peppermint bark. And, like, I wish I could have it, but I can't have it because they have wheat. And my terrible, terrible non-gluten my gluten-hating body just kill me. So I unfortunately can't have it. Let me take these glasses off. My entire, like, I have to, like, scoot around it. They look so good. It just looks so good. My poor body. I'm not too awful upset. I'm sure I could figure out a way to make it myself. I want to learn how to make marshmallows. I hear they're, like, really easy to make. I'm just really lazy. Like those marshmallows that have the, like the little ones that you see that people make, and they're, like, shaped like characters. God, those are so cool. Like they have, like, Pikachu, and, like, you make them with, like, colored marshmallows, and pipe them, and they look cool. It kind of looks almost like piping a macaron, which I think is neat. I've made macarons before, and, like, it's always a process, but I think they're probably easier to make than macarons. If I had to guess. I could be completely wrong on that, honestly. They look so good. Winter is truly the time for just, like, comfy food. I've been thinking, too, a lot lately about, like, chili. Like, having chili for dinner. Like a nice warm bowl of chili with some Fritos, and cheese, and sour cream and chives. Put it all in there. It's nice and warm. It's 30 degrees out, so it can cold so easy. Warm you up, warm up your body. Sounds nice. Sounds pleasant. Or, like, you like cake? Oh! Oh, hi, Iris boy! You came at the end. We're just sitting and chatting. But hi, my name is Iris. I'm a little techno demon, and I do a lot of things. I hope you guys are having a good day so far. All those emotes are so cute. Thank you so much for the raid. Oh, no. Look at all of them bouncing around. How are you guys doing? What'd you guys do? Where'd you guys come from? Oh, I love these little dudes. What are you guys doing? What were you doing? Just came for chat and planning stuff. What you planted? What you planning? I want to know. What's the secret? What's the secret? I should probably change this to chillin'. Just vibing. Yeah, that's fine. I'll change it. Company. Ooh. Businessmen and women. Dude, that's fancy as fuck. I want in. What's my cut? Can I buy stock? What is the business first off before I buy stock of it? Better be a good business. It's like, I want in. God, you've piqued my interest. Give me the elevator pitch real quick. Don't mind this. I have to take a drink of water or else my throat's gonna explode. And this is gonna look really weird, and I'm so sorry. Like getting an exorcism for free. Oh god. I should have never turned this RTX tracking on. It's like it's simultaneously the best ever, but like also like the worst. Oh, my nose is so stuffy. We were mostly just talking because we just finished reading. We've been reading a lot from the International SCP Wiki. We were just talking about like really like good foods. Chili. And then like I was ranting about marshmallows. I'm really mad that they make marshmallows with chocolate inside them now. Did you guys know that? It's super cool. I guess it's like built-in s'mores. Oh my god. I want built-in s'mores now. I just want s'mores now. I'm like craving like warm food. Warm food. Warm chili. Pie. Not that time, it's like pumpkin pie season. Oh gosh. Hope it isn't too late for you guys. It's late for me. It's like 1:43, 1:45. It's late. Shouldn't be this late though, but it's alright. It's not like I have anything to do tomorrow besides stream anyways. It's not like it's the worst thing in the world. It's also like, I'm trying to think of what else. I feel like I should probably look into like maybe making some like trying to think of like other foods that I'd want. There's so many foods. Maybe like you know what's good in the winter? This is like the weirdest thing that's good in the winter. Have you guys ever had baklava? Just like fresh baklava in the winter? Like pistachios and the syrup. It's like the perfect holiday. It's just baklava. Just warm that shit up a little bit. Fresh baklava. That like flaky pastry. And those good pistachios. Ah. If you haven't had baklava before, I'd totally recommend it. That shit's a religious experience. You will thank me later. Baklava's the best. So much food. I'm trying to... Now I'm way too fixated on food. I'm gonna have to go eat at 1:45 in the morning. Which could be worse. Like, I could legitimately have it worse. I could be eating at like 3 a.m. But oh well. Oh, I think it's about time for me to start heading to bed though. Or at least starting to get ready for bed. I got some art that I need to do, some sketches that I need to deliver before too awful long. It's nice to see everybody here. Common, Valfer, Bachi. Thank you all for coming, and thanks to Rice Boy for the raid. Honestly, I appreciate it. It's been kind of quiet tonight. It always happens at the end of my streams. I don't get raids when I'm like in the middle of shit. You guys always come at the last minute. Hopefully you can come by next time. Stick around if you want. I've got Okami tomorrow. Is what I'm playing tomorrow. And I tend to do these reading streams pretty often. So if you want to hear more reading, I've got some like VODs up on my YouTube. You can also just drop by here every once in a while. I'm usually doing something. Whatever the fuck it is. Ah. But it is sleepy time for the little demon. Or else I'm gonna fall asleep in my chair and I don't want to do that. Nor do you want me to do that. Because my model's gonna break and you're gonna see me like freak out in the corner. I will see you guys later. Thank you for dropping by. I hope that you all have a wonderful night, day, whatever time it is for you. I really do genuinely appreciate it. Thank you for coming by. Sorry to end it. Yeah, it'll be like getting exercise the whole night. You don't have to worry about it. Free exorcism. Free copy of The Exorcist right there. Ready to roll. Good night. Good night. Get some rest. Or if you just started your day, I don't know, have a good day. Be good, do good things. All that jazz. Like I usually do. Alrighty. Bye-bye.